party, and she'll go as soon as it can be done in a seemly way.
And for those who are not awake in the middle of the night or watching in the middle of the night, you could see it in her eyes, you could hear it in her voice, couldn't you?
Yes, and she took great care to say that the party would...
She's not won.
And Brexit negotiations and what that means for what the country wants from Brexit as well is a big issue. And sadly, as you've mentioned, it may mean we have to go back to another election fairly soon.
Can you imagine another election? Oh my God!
I think I might quit. I think that might be. No, I mean, listen. There's nothing more fascinating than politics, and to tell you the honest truth, there's been nothing more fascinating than recent politics. And of that bunch of recent politics, there's been nothing more fascinating than tonight.
No,
I have to say, if I was doing a poll, I'd put this right at number one.
But you know, the one thing I think people, the politicians need to learn from is to stop with the arrogance. The arrogance needs to stop. Nicola Sturgeon, Theresa May, the fact that they think they're going to win things outright. This just goes to show, as did having the referendum last year, it goes to show that if you just out and out have an election and think you're going to win it, and you don't, then you're out. It happens to David Cameron, it could then happen to Theresa May.
It certainly could. Ed Zakantade, thank you very much indeed for sticking with me for the last 3 hours. Tom Majinski. There we go. Thank you very much indeed. The reason I confused, my dad wrote a book called Mr. Majinski, so it's very close. Thank you very much indeed for coming, and thank you to all my guests and everybody, all the reporters this morning for a fascinating and very fast programme. Make sure you stay here with BBC Radio London though, because Vanessa is up next with all your election results. And don't forget, we're still waiting for Richmond. Have a good day. BBC Radio London travel M25 seen an accident anti-clockwise at junction 7 for the M23 has just been cleared. The vehicles involved were on the chevrons between the inside lane and the hard shoulder, all lanes open, and the earlier congestion at junction 8 for Reigate has eased off. Belmont Brighton Road closed between Belmont Rise and Cotswold Road following a police incident near Belmont Station. Brighton Road as a result slow northbound towards the closure from Banstead Downs, and in Thornton Heath the 235 London Road closed between Mayday Road and Pendevon Road following an underground fire to the south of Croydon Hospital. Pippa Sparks, BBC Radio London. Your next travel 7:15.
Welcome to a hung parliament. Theresa May's snap election has spectacularly backfired. The Tories have fewer seats but still remain the biggest party. Labour have so far gained 28 additional seats. Jeremy Corbyn has called on the PM to step down. After the news.
On digital radio and TV and on 94.9 FM.
London's radio station.
BBC Radio London.
London's news at 7. I'm Jason Rosen. Theresa May finds herself facing calls for her to stand down as Prime Minister after failing to win the landslide majority that some had forecast. The Conservatives are on course to end up with 319 seats. That's 7 fewer than would give them an overall majority. Mrs May held her seat in Maidenhead. She said only her party could provide what the country needed. Much of the Conservative campaign strategy was focused on winning round former Labour voters who had in recent years supported UKIP. The UKIP vote did collapse, but Labour held on to many of the seats the Tories had hoped to win in the north and northeast of England. The momentum generated by Jeremy Corbyn on the campaign trail paid off, with Labour winning votes and seats. Jeremy Corbyn saw his majority increase by more than 12,000 in Islington North. He said people wanted an end to austerity and cuts.
The Prime Minister called the election because she wanted a mandate. Well, the mandate she's got is lost Conservative seats, lost votes, lost support and lost confidence. I would have thought that's enough to go, actually, and make way for a government that will be truly representative of all of the people of this country.
In London, the Labour Party have 48 seats, the Conservatives are on 20, and the Liberal Democrats have 3, with 2 seats still to declare. That's Kensington and Richmond Park and North Kingston. Vince Cable has been re-elected in Twickenham after losing his seat in 2015. The Liberal Democrats also won in Kingston and Surbiton, ousting James Berry, who won in 2015 for the Conservatives. Labour gained Enfield Southgate from the Tories, with David Burrow Rose losing his seat. Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson held Uxbridge and Ruislip South for the Conservatives. Bermondsey and Old Southwark has been held by Labour's Neil Coyle, with former MP Simon Hughes failing to take it back. Education Secretary Justine Greening was re-elected as Conservative MP for Putney, but her 10,000 majority has been reduced to 1,500. And Battersea is a Labour gain, taking the seat from Jane Ellison. Conservative Gavin Barwell lost the marginal seat of Croydon Central. The former Minister for London wrote a book titled How to Win a Marginal Seat, My Year Fighting for My Political Life. Labour's Sarah Jones took it with more than 5,000 votes.
Well, however people voted today, we all believe that we need to try and make Croydon, a better, a safer place, and somewhere that offers more hope for young people, and make sure people are educated properly, make sure the NHS is safe, and hopefully together we can achieve those things.
Away from London, some of the biggest upsets of the night were in Scotland. The SNP's leader in the Commons, Angus Robertson, lost his seat. So did the former leader, Alex Salmond. The Tories captured 12 of the SNP's seats. Labour took 6 and the Liberal Democrats 3. The leader of the Scottish Conservatives, Ruth Davidson, saying the result marked the end of the SNP's call for a second referendum on Scottish independence. Brent North saw the re-election of the veteran Labour MP Barry Gardner. He's been saying it's a worrying time for the country.
She has gambled everything for party advantage, but it's not her that's lost, it's not her party that's lost, it's Britain that's lost, because she will go into that negotiation and she will be considered a laughingstock by those with whom she has to negotiate. And that means that we are weaker as a result of her incompetence and indeed her arrogance.
The Conservative MP Anna Soubry said it had been a dreadful night for the Tories, who she said had run a terrible campaign. She said Mrs May should now consider her position.
I think she's in a very difficult place. She's a remarkable and she's a very talented woman, and she doesn't shy from difficult decisions, but she now has to obviously consider her position. Obviously we haven't had all the results, we need to see where we are, but Theresa did put her mark on this campaign. She takes responsibility, as she always does, and I know she will, for the running of the campaign as well. It was a tightly knit group, and it was her group that ran this campaign.
But Ian Duncan Smith, who held his seat in Chingford and Woodford Green, said Theresa May should stay on to ensure stability.
I think it would be a grave error for us, directly after a result, to suddenly go into the turmoil of a leadership election. So I'm absolutely against that. I think we need some stability right now. We have to figure out what the final result is, and then can we run a government, can we lead a government, is the critical question to ask.
There's continuing full coverage of all the results as they come in here on BBC Radio London, and a full list of all London results is available at our website. Now London's weather with Elizabeth Rizzini.
It's a day of sunshine and some showers. Now it's a dry and a bright early start, lots of sunshine around first thing, but it won't be too long through the middle to the late part of the morning till we see these showers spread in from the west. Some heavy downpours to be expected, maybe even a rumble or two of thunder, but some sunny spells in between. The showers will fade away through the afternoon to leave us with a dry and a fine end to the day. Top temperatures today, warm in the sunshine, 21 or 22 Celsius. Overnight tonight, dry, lows of around 13 or 14 degrees, and it's set to be a nice weekend of weather with temperatures in the low 20s, lots of sunshine at times.
BBC Radio London, it's 7:05.
Breakfast election special with Vanessa Feltz.
BBC Radio London.
Theresa May's Facebook page, the 20th of May. If I lose just 6 seats, I will lose this election. So far, he has lost 12 seats. Let's go directly to Richmond Park, where Phil Parry joins us with the result.
Yeah, we're just waiting. The candidates, after 2 recounts, a series of batch flicking and various other ways of checking things are being invited onto the stage. The acting returning officer, the mayor of Richmond stages where the result will be announced imminently. Vanessa is one of the last ones to come through here, of course, in this momentous election that we've had, and now we are waiting for the Labour candidate who is being applauded onto the stage. I spoke to her a little bit earlier, and she was saying her feet were very sore, and she was wearing heels for the first time in weeks. She was wearing lots of trainers to get around, and on the stump. And here comes the results from Richmond Park.
126. Olney, Sarah Jane, commonly known as Sarah Olney, Liberal Democrats, 28,543.
So, a very, very close victory for Zach Goldsmith.
Commonly known as Kate Tuitt, Labour Party, 5,773. The total number of ballot papers rejected was 131. Because votes were given for more than one candidate, 19. Because they were unmarked to avoid for uncertainty, 112. The turnout was 79.3%. I hereby declare that the said Frank Zacharias Robin Goldsmith, commonly known as Zach Goldsmith, duly elected as Member of Parliament for the Richmond Park constituency.
So there you go, Vanessa. In 2015, Zach Goldsmith had a majority of 23,015. Of course, he